You're listening to the Craig Proctor Real Estate Show. Each week, I'm going to be interviewing top realtors from coast to coast to give you a backstage pass on how they've created their amazing real estate empires and how you can copy them. Hi, everyone. This is Craig Proctor, and welcome to the Craig Proctor Real Estate Show. Today, it's my pleasure to be interviewing Sharad Gupta. He's in the Bay Area, super successful realtor and entrepreneur. Sharad, welcome to the Craig Proctor Real Estate Show.
Thank you so much, Craig. Thank you so much for giving me some time out of your busy schedule and on this show. So great. Thank you.
Okay, well, let's get right into it. Tell everybody a little bit about you, who you are, how you found me, when you found Craig Proctor, and what's happened to your business and your mindset since that time.
Absolutely, Craig. So I started my real estate career about 4.5 years ago. And
what were you doing before you got into real estate?
Yeah, before I got into real estate, since I am in Silicon Valley, just like many other people, I was in software. I was a software engineer working with some high-tech.
So how did you make the leap from being a software engineer into real estate sales?
Absolutely. Great question, Craig. So if I were to define it with my big why, right? So I have a specially abled son. And while doing my software engineering job, I was always thinking, hey, how can I leave some legacy behind for him? And that's when I decided that instead of spending time in software engineering, where I'd spent almost 20 years, that, hey, let's try something else and let's see if I can leave some legacy behind for him.
And that's a hard thing for people to do. Would everyone watching this agree? You spent your whole life really in training and perfecting your skills as a software engineer. And a lot of people, kind of stick with that. They go down a pathway, and whether they like it or they don't like it, they look back and they go, well, I can't quit now because I've spent 20 years doing it. But you didn't do that. You completely gave up a very successful career to go into the unknown, to get into real estate sales. So what attracted you to real estate sales? Why not leave being a software engineer to be an airline pilot or something else? Like what was it about real estate that attracted you?
So I think a couple of things which attracted me. So I really wanted to do some business on my own. And what I found about real estate is a lower startup cost. Mm-hmm. And on top of it, no limits to what I can make and what I can earn and how much can I make and what sort of bank balance I can build up. So that sort of inspired me to get into real estate.
And then this was like how many years ago?
This was about 4.5 years ago.
Okay, so 4.5 years ago, software engineer for 20 years. You decide real estate, I'm going to check it out. It's got a low barrier to entry. I don't have to have a lot of money to do it. What happened when you first got into real estate? Like, what did you immediately like? But what also surprised you? Maybe things that you weren't prepared for when you first got into the business?
Yeah, great question. So a couple of things which I realized, which I was not prepared to. As a software engineer, my 8 hours a day you are used to spend in front of computers. And I was not really prepared to sort of do the sort of work which initially was asked from me to do, like go on doors, knock on doors, and then keep calling people 24 hours a day.
So that they pretty much, the industry, the broker, they pretty much told you to do the same thing as they tell everybody else. So go out and cold call, knock on doors, prospect. And so what did you think of that? Like coming from a world where you never had to do that, did that take you back a little bit? Like, is this what real estate is about?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I was not prepared for that. And I didn't thought that I was built out for that. I was more built out for working as far as building an organization, building a team, because that's where most of my expertise was. So absolutely, that sort of took me a little bit by surprise that, hey, I have to do that. So yeah.
Okay, so you're doing these things that, I don't know, can we say maybe are a little bit, you think maybe are a little bit demeaning. You didn't like doing it. And then how long were you using kind of that old school traditional approach of cold calling, door knocking, begging people for referrals? How long did that go on for?
Yeah, I did that for about 12 months before my broker pushed me into coaching with some real estate coaches. So initially I was coaching with Ferries, and then I coached with a couple of other coaches. And
what happened there? Obviously, you're being coached by me now. So your broker, it was your broker that said, okay, you need a coach. You know, you've been doing this for a year. You're not having any breakthroughs. So you took other coaching, and what happened during that period?
Absolutely. So I was coaching with lots of other coaching institutes. One thing I realized is, and I was trying different coaches at that time. I was actually in search for a good coach. What I realized at that time is that, hey, most of the coaches, they spend lots of time on my mindset. And what I realized is that, no, I have mindset. I just quit my 20 years job, earning $500,000. I don't need mindset. I'm looking for a sort of a built road where you can tell me that, hey, this is the road, go and walk on it.
So the focus was more on, getting your head on right and motivation and accountability. And you're saying I already had all that.
Yeah, I already had all that. Meaning that's why I could have my career and then moved into a new career, because I already had the mindset.
So what you were missing were the specifics of what to do, the systems, that type of thing.
Yeah, I was looking.
How long ago did you did this for a year by yourself, and then you had these other coaches that were that your broker said, go get a coach. How many different coaches did you try?
I tried 2 coaches.
Okay.
And then after that, I quit coaching. I thought, let me spend some time and search for somebody who I'm looking for. So I spent about 6 months looking for a good coach. Then that's where I met James McDonald's in one of the car conferences, like California Association of Realtor conferences.
Yeah. Okay. So you came out to one of our seminars, you met James. Everyone, if you know me well, you know James McDonald's been with me for 25 years. Okay. So you get to this event, and James is talking to you about the Craig Proctor system. So what really struck a chord with you? Obviously there was something that you heard that got your attention during that event.
Absolutely. And I think I still remember that one sentence from James that, hey, if you were a doctor or a dentist, would you go and knock on people's door and ask them, when are your teeth falling? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's a sort of things which I was looking for, because I came from a professional background. I wanted to run my real estate business as a professional rather than being like a door knocker or.
But it's so true. When we step out of real estate, because we're all used to business as it's done in this industry, right? So what you did, by the way, is very normal, right? That's what most of us do when we get into real estate, is we look around at what everyone else is doing, believing it's the thing to do. And so we're all out there knocking on doors and cold calling, begging for referrals, sitting in open houses, chasing expireds and for sale by owners. So that's very normal. But when James started to talk about industries outside of real estate, and you look at how an attorney operates, or how an accountant, a professional accountant, or an architect, they're not out cold calling and prospecting, and they also have a team. None of these professionals are doing everything by themselves. We're typically in real estate, we believe that is the industry norm, right? You're getting a listing this morning, but this afternoon you're at Home Depot getting keys cut, you're installing a lockbox, you're the photographer, you're the graphic designer, you're making the feature sheets. We're running around doing a lot of work that takes us away from selling. So the team building concept is something I created over 25 years ago. And I assume James talked about what lead generation should look like, and how to build a business beyond your own capabilities. So you actually, people would want to come and work with you because you had an overflow of business. After that event, what happens next?
Yeah, after that event, I thought, hey, you know what, James is another real estate coach. So I didn't immediately jumped into the system. I kept searching. But then after about 3 or 4 months, then I realized that, hey, you know what, I should go back and at least try out what James told me. And that's when I moved into the system in, I think, November, in November of one of the 3-day conferences in Anaheim.
I noticed you used the system. You wore the name system. You said, I moved into the system. So you referred to the other people as coaches. but you refer to this as a system. Explain to everybody what you mean by that. What's the difference between, typical real estate coaching and the Craig Proctor system? In your mind, how would you define that?
Absolutely. So what I was looking for and what really I enjoy working in the system is that it's a very well laid out path that, hey, if you want to go from point A to point B, these are the 10 things which you need to do. For example, when I came on board, I was handed a 6-month checklist, and that was just so awesome. I knew exactly what I have to do for next 6 months, all laid out on a piece of paper. All I have to do is pick it up, do it, check it off, pick it up, do it, check it off. That's what I mean by system. And that's exactly what I was looking for, that, hey, I can do all these things. Just tell me what to do, how to go from point A to point B, and I'll do them. I don't have a problem doing things.
As a software engineer, you had systems. There were rules, right? There were procedures to follow. And I hear this from a lot of people that get into real estate, that, whatever they were doing before real estate. I'll give you an example. As you know, in California, we have a lot of ex-military who get into real estate, and they love the Craig Proctor system because when you're in the military, you have checklists, you have SOPs, there's a certain way to do things. And when you get into real estate, there is no way, right? It's like all over the place. So that's what made sense to you, is the fact that there's a systematic, you didn't need the motivation. You had the motivation. You needed the systematic way to approach this. So let's break down these systems so everybody understands specifically what we're talking about. So the first system that you implemented was the lead generation system. And we call it an ARPS, ARPS. People are like, well, what's ARPS? That stands for Automatic Reverse Prospecting System. Explain the Craig Proctor Automatic Reverse Prospecting System and the philosophy behind that.
Absolutely. So the biggest philosophy behind that automated reverse prospecting system is, just like it says, it's number one, automated, which means it's run on its own. Even while you are sleeping, the system is running. The second word is reverse, which means I am not following people. Just like if I were a doctor or a lawyer, and if somebody runs into trouble, they pick up the phone and they call me, which means I have something which people want rather than me reaching out to people. That's the meaning of reverse. And then again, prospecting system is like, you are trying to work with clients, and you are trying to identify the clients. So that's how I sort of looked at automated reverse prospecting system. So the 3 parts to it, which in fact, my entire team runs around these 3 parts. The first part is the client acquisition system, like how we are acquiring the clients. The second part is how we are converting those clients. And the third part is how we are fulfilling the client's needs. So that's what's something like really, really what you call struck the chord with me, because it was so systematized and basically a set of checklists and systematized that I just implemented. Of course, it takes some time to implement it, but once it's implemented, it do its job. The prospects are coming in automatically, and you have the system at the background, a well-defined script to talk to those clients, and then move them, sift and sort them, and then move them through the funnel as and when they come in.
Very well articulated. You see, you are a perfect client for me because these are perfect clients for me. Somebody that's a realtor that's motivated, they're intelligent, they're an implementer. You check off all those boxes. I think everybody watching this, if I was to ask you this question, explain your client acquisition system, explain in detail how you get the clients, okay, how on the strength of your marketing, you pre-sell the prospects on you. So they want to use you and only you. How do you nurture that relationship, and how do you create lifetime clients? Most real estate agents would have a hard time really specifically articulating that. But you have clarity on that. And that's the first thing that we all need before implementation, right? It's very difficult to implement something you're not crystal clear on. Okay, so that's how we generate the leads. Now, I think everybody watching this would agree that if 100% of your clients were calling you, you were never chasing them, And that's the truth. In the Craig Proctor world, we're like the anti-establishment here because there is no cold calling. There is no door knocking. We're not going to tell you to chase anybody. It's completely unnecessary because we're using smart, modern marketing that attracts, sifts, and sorts prospects. Once the leads come in, so 100% of them are coming to you as the realtor, and on the strength of the marketing, you're well positioned. You're going to follow up with these leads. Tell us about the follow-up. What happens on your team now when these leads come in? In the beginning, I guess there was just you. So you were doing the lead generation, but also following up with the leads. And why not keep doing it that way? Why have a team?
Well, the idea was not for me to sort of keep doing a real estate job forever, but rather than convert my job into a business. And that's what I had been looking for. And that's when I realized that, hey, I need help from people if I have to grow it from this level to the next level. And that's where I started bringing on some team members, like few ISAs, the inside sales agents. And yeah, basically. So the way the system works is that, let us say a lead comes in through one of our marketing efforts, either through Facebook or through Google or through organic SEOs or through radio or through any of these lead acquisition channels. A lead comes in, and then all those leads, they go into our CRM. And once they reach into our CRM, our ISAs are immediately notified that, hey, a new lead came in and the lead came in from this source. And the moment the ISAs get notified, they pick up the phone call immediately. They call these clients. They use the universal callback script. And by using the universal callback script, the job of our ISA is to determine the timing and motivation of the client, nothing beyond that. They determine the timing and motivation of the client, and based on the timing and motivation, if the client is looking to do a transaction within next 0 to 3 months or 3 to 6 months, they immediately set up an appointment with either me or one of our agents, one of our awesome agents on our team. And if the client is beyond that, they put them on a follow-up plan. We have 2 different follow-up plans. One is what we call as a nurture follow-up plan for people who are looking to buy between 6 to 9 months. And then a watch follow-up plan, people who are looking to buy or sell within 9 to 12 months. And so the 3 different parts, first 6 months, we call them hot clients, like A+ client or hot clients immediately set up appointments with one of our awesome agents. And then the nurture, the watch, the nurture and watches, they get follow-ups calls every 3 weeks or every 4 weeks based on which bucket they fall into. And the hot clients, they go to our agents sit down with them. They do our either VIP buyer presentation if they are a buyer clients first. If they're a seller clients first, we do a seller presentation with them. And then based on the outcome of the presentation, either we sign up with them, or if they're not ready yet, we send them back into our follow-up funnel. So we sort of try to follow up the lead flow chart, which is given to us as part of our system, and the leads follow through that lead follow-up chart.
A lot of golden nuggets there. So let me try to break down that great stuff. Okay, first of all, you had an epiphany that you didn't want to be a real estate agent, a solo real estate agent for the rest of your life, working, really just having a job as a real estate agent. There was a spark in you, an entrepreneurial part of you that said, hey, there's more to this business than just being a real estate agent. I would like to build my team so I can build it bigger than just me. I could build it beyond what any solo person could do as far as production, but also have something that eventually operates without you to some degree. And eventually, if you had a real business, and the definition of the business is it works so you don't have to, you would have a sellable asset. And that's not true for real estate agents in general. Real estate agents in general, they work until they can't work anymore. You know, I've heard this joke around the industry. When's the last time you've been at a real estate agent's retirement party, right? And it doesn't exist, right? Real estate agents just work and work and work and work. And for many agents who are not in the Craig Proctor system, they have a job as a real estate agent. And let me say this without offending anybody. For most agents, it's not even really a great job. And let me explain what I mean. if you were a decent salesperson and you were not in real estate, or maybe you are right now and you decided you're a decent salesperson, if you got out of real estate and you worked as a salesperson in corporate America for a good company anywhere in corporate America, you'd probably make a salary of with commissions and bonuses, you'd probably make $100,000 to $150,000 a year. You would never be asked to work on the weekends. You wouldn't have to worry about cold calling or door knocking or any of that, or even lead generation, because the company would take care of generating all the leads and providing you the contacts. They'd probably give you a company car. You would have 4 to 6 weeks of paid vacation. You would have benefits. Maybe you'd even have a pension. None of that exists in real estate. So if we're going to be entrepreneurs in real estate, do we want to just be a solo agent working until we can't work, completely limited by the time that we have? Because let's face it, in real estate as a solo agent, you are trading your time for money. And eventually, whether it's 40 hours a week or 50 or 60 hours or whatever, if your strategy is the only way I can make more money is to trade more of my life, you're going to hit a ceiling. You're going to become stuck at some level. Now, we do meet realtors that are stuck, and it's a very different, like they're successful and they might be making several $100,000s a year. So they don't want to give it up because they're making good money, but they can't keep it up, right? They can't, they can do the sprint, but they can't do the marathon. So you see all this and you're like, I see an opportunity here. Now, when you started getting involved with the Craig Proctor system, and I'm deliberately keep using the word system because I don't even like calling myself a coach. I try to stay as far as positioning, which we teach all of our members, the importance of positioning, like who you are and also what you're not, who you're not. But coaching is something people are familiar with. What is a coach? They provide motivation or accountability or whatever. Well, we kind of do that, but really we just give you a system. Okay. And you jumped right on the system and you've done very well with it. So let's talk about the team building now. You've got an overflow of business. And now you have the thing that other agents in the Bay Area want. You've got, and you're not even giving the leads to your outside sales agents. You're giving the leads to the ISAs. Okay. And the ISAs are setting up, like literally setting up buyer appointments and listing appointments for your highly trained outside sales agents. So I just want everyone to understand, if you're in the Bay Area right now, if you're in San Jose, San Francisco, the marketplace that Sharad services, you don't need to call Craig Proctor. You should be calling this guy because you can join up, you can partner up, and this would be what your life would look like. If you're a good agent, you would make multiple times net in your pocket what you're making now. Okay. In most cases, within a few exceptions, unless you're doing extremely well right now, this opportunity of partnering up with Sharad would be an income opportunity where you actually would make more money and you would work less. Because here's how this would work. You wouldn't do anything else except for go out in appointments. You don't pay for the leads. You don't call the leads. That's all done for you. You would open your day timer and, maybe you don't want to work on a Saturday, so you block yourself out. You control your day timer within reason. Right? Can't just not be available. But if you open your day timer up, we're going to book you appointments. Okay, so you're going to be in front of buyers and sellers that want to buy and sell. That's the job of the ISAs. Now, back in the day, before we knew better, we used to give the leads to the outside sales agents, and we realized the top agents didn't want leads, they wanted appointments. And it's not that the top agents couldn't call the leads and be successful, but here's what typically would happen. We would give one of our top outside sales agents 10 appointments. They were so good, they'd call 3 or 4 of them, book an appointment, and boom, they'd be out listing a house, and the other 6 or 7 leads wouldn't get called. So we have inside sales agents that are salaried plus commission, and all they do are call the leads that are provided, booking appointments. Now, I want everyone to stop and think about this. What if this was true for you? Once you go out on the listing appointment, and by the way, we give you the presentation, okay? And there's lots of time spent every single week coaching the team up on how to do the presentations. There is a best way, obviously, there's best practices for everything. So what's the best method or system for a listing presentation or a buyer presentation? The more successful you are, the more successful we are. So literally, imagine if that was your life, just going out from listing appointment to a listing appointment. And when you get the listing, all you have to do is send the paperwork in. This is where it's really sweet. You don't have to do anything else. The administrative team takes the pictures of the house, gets the key cut, installs the key box, broker loads it into MLS, makes the feature sheets. All of this is done so the agents on the team can maximize their income by doing the thing that realtors make the most amount of money doing, which is in front of ready to act buyers and sellers, not buyers and sellers that are 6 months away, buyers and sellers that are motivated and their timing is now. So that being said, Sharad, why do you think everyone in the Bay Area that hears this message, what would stop them? What would get in the way? What would be the obstacle? Why wouldn't they call you to at least check out this opportunity?
Because I think so I speak with lots of agents around, and I think for most of the people, for most of the agents around, the one of the hurdle is that just like they think that it's too good to be true because they have not seen something like this ever working.
Skepticism. Skepticism.
That's the word I was looking for. Yes.
How many of you listen? And by the way, if you're not in Sharad's marketplace, you're not in the Bay Area, you can book a call with me and I'll show you how to do what Sharad's doing. I'll show you how to do it. And you can go to proctorcall.com. We'll have a link in the comments below, and we're going to give Sharad Gupta's information and my information so you can reach us. But this is a system, okay? And the number one reason that some of you won't take action and contact either one of us is because maybe it just sounds too good to be true. And I get that, but literally this is true. I have created more millionaire real estate agents than any other coach, trainer, guru, whatever you want to call these guys. It's very difficult for somebody to teach another real estate agent how to become a millionaire agent unless they've done it themselves. Let me flip it around. You're not going to learn how to become a millionaire agent from somebody that's never made $1 million in real estate. A lot of these coaches and gurus haven't sold real estate, or they made a couple $100,000 a year. Look, at someone who knows how to make a couple $100,000 a year can't show you how to do more than what they did. It's that simple. So skepticism is one of the roadblocks. What do you got to lose by booking a call with us? How many times do we turn our back on an opportunity because we have preconceived notions? You know, it sounds too good. What would be the downside? It's literally a phone call you're making. Okay, shoot us an email. Let us meet up with you and explain how this would work for you, so you have a better life in real estate. What does that mean, a better life? Everyone talks about a better life. I'm going to break it down. This is my definition of a better life in real estate. You got more money, you got more time, and you got more freedom. Why would you choose to work harder and make less money and have less freedom when you've got an opportunity here to be part of something bigger? So what would be the best way to reach you? And we will type all this into the comments below in case you're watching this and you're in a car or whatever. But Sharad Gupta, what is the best contact information? If somebody just wants to verify, like, this is the real deal, did you really do this? I want to know more about the opportunity. What would be the best way to reach you?
Yeah, my email is contact@trademyhome.com.
Now that's a bit of a mouthful, so we'll type that into the comments below. And mine's easy. It's proctorcall.com. So my name, Proctor, all no space, just if you type into your browser, proctorcall.com, you'll go to there'll be a short video that you'll watch, and it'll talk to you about, hey, you can book a call with Craig Proctor. What happens? Is this some kind of sales pitch? No. We're going to ask you a bunch of questions about your business. And then once we know who you are and what you're doing and why you're doing it, I would give you for free my advice on what I would do, what I would show you how to do. If it makes sense to you, you might want to learn more about Craig Proctor and this opportunity. If it doesn't make sense, what did you lose? If you contact either one of us, you don't like the conversation while you investigated it. But this is where most people stop. But you didn't do that. You kept searching for coaches until you found the right one. And you were looking for a system, actually, not a coach. You attended one of our events, and then you went all in on this. You did not nibble around the edges. Where are you going to take this thing? What's your vision for this a year, 2 years, 5 years down the road?
Great question, Craig. So as far as the goals and the visions are concerned, so I absolutely want Your Home Sold Guaranteed. By the way, I own a franchisee, Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty too. So I want this name to be sort of a household name in the area. That's where my long-term vision is. But yeah, that's where we are working. That's where at least I'm working towards.
Now you have goals in your life, things that you want to do, boxes that you want to check off. Everybody has a why. And I think it's very important that we have a why. Some people, if you have a goal without a why, it's maybe reaching that goal is not important. But the realtors that I work with, they have a goal, but they have a very definitive why. We call it a heart's desire. And I think all of you, if you just stop for a minute and you think about things you'd really like to do in your life. Maybe it's that vacation that you've always promised yourself you're going to take, or I don't know, you want to buy your parents a house, or that red sports car that you want, giving back to the homeless people, whatever your thing is. I want you to think about the most important things in your life, and let's have a plan to get that. Okay, a lot of people fantasize about their heart's desire. So if I have a conversation with them about what they really want, some of them have a hard time actually telling me what it is they would really like, how they'd like their life to look like and what they really want. Now, if you can't articulate it, you're probably not going to get it. Now, some people will tell me what they really want in their life, and they actually would say, well, it would be nice if. So they kind of have a fantasy about it, but they don't actually believe it's possible. So we find that, we have people that are actually living their lives like they're an extra in someone else's movie. The first thing that I work on, and because you've attended many of my events, is in fact the head stuff, which you're a student of. You love it. You like to understand how the mind works. And this is why this is so important. If you were to begin working with either one of us, we would be working on, well, what's really important to you and how do we help you get that? What do you believe is standing in the way? I mean, it's a great question, right? When we start, if you go to proctorcall.com and you book a consultation, one of the first things that we would do is we talk about where are you right now in your business? Because I need to understand where you are and I need to understand where you want to go. It's like if you're in your car and you're in Boston and you want to drive to San Jose, well, we're going to have a hard time creating that map. If you don't know where you are, you're in Boston. If you don't know where you're going, you want to go to San Jose. So we got to map this out. Where do you want to go? Where are you now? Where do you want to go? Why is that important to you? Now, here's another great question. Well, why aren't you doing it now? So if I was talking to a realtor a couple of weeks ago, and she was doing 25 transactions a year, but she said she wanted to do 50. And so I started off saying, well, like, why do you want to do 50? Why is that important? And she said, she had a great answer. She knew specifically why going from 25 to 50 was important. She said, my husband's in the military. If I was to go from 25 to 50, he could retire, work with me. We could spend time traveling around and seeing our kids. Boom. There's her why. She had a why. So my obvious next question is, well, why aren't you already doing 50? She's like, I don't know how. Right. So that would be true for most of us, right? If you think about where you are now, you probably, all of you watching this, know where you want to go. So the obvious question is, well, why aren't you doing it? There's got to be something holding you back. That's where we help you. Sharad, that's where you got the vision, right? You met, let's talk about meeting the other Craig Proctor members that are making millions of dollars a year, and you became friendly with them. And here's what you realized: they're no different than me.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You became friendly with them. All the challenges, obstacles that you were experiencing, they had to experience those same obstacles. They were on the other side of it. And, when you see somebody that's doing something, a lot of people look at that, oh, I could never do, the average person walks into a clothes store. And the very first thing they do is they look at the price. They're not getting what they want in life. They're getting what they believe they can afford. But you know what? Somebody owns the entire clothes store. The fact that one person owns the clothes store is positive proof that any of us could actually not only buy anything in the store, we could own the whole store.
Mm-hmm.
So you become friendly with these Craig Proctor superstars, some of them making over $1 million in GC a month. So let's talk about skepticism. Some of you right now are like, well, that's impossible. No, it's not impossible. Remember when you were growing up? For most of us, our parents said something like this: if you hang around with good people, good things will happen. If you hang around with bad people, bad things might happen. That's true. Not only do we want to give you a better outlook, a better mindset, and the vision on how you can do what we're talking about, who you hang out with, who you surround yourself with is vitally important. Talk a little bit about the mindset, because I know you're very good with the mind. So share your philosophy on this.
Yeah. So the way, and tying back into what you said, Craig, like when we go out and meet all these great people, the way I have learned how, basically it's my hobby to sort of learn how the mind works and how the neuro linguistic programming works to help my child out also. As I said, he was a special need kid.
So that was your why.
That was
became
my big why.
You became sort of a scientist at this because you wanted to do a better job of understanding how to communicate with your son.
That is correct. That is correct. So what I realized after doing a little bit of research and after studying a little bit, that every second, our 5 senses which we have, those 5 senses, can you believe it? They give us about 11 megabits per second of information which is getting fed into our brain. That's the amount of information each and every one of us is collecting. But our brain, at a high level, it is only capable of processing like only about 128 bits per second. I'm sorry, I'm using a little bit of computer terminology, but
a little bit of software engineering from the past.
Yeah. So all that data between 11 megabits per second to 128 bits per second, it gets dropped. We humans, our human brain, based on our past experiences, based on our old paradigms, based on what other people have taught us, based on the program which we run in our brain, we practically either delete all the information which is coming to us, we distort all that information, and then whatever information is coming in us, we filter it through our past experiences. And that's what creates our state of mind. And that's how we behave. That was basically at a high level, the definition or the way to understand how the information coming in and how brain processes it and how we act and how basically we behave. So that's where that all old paradigms and old experiences and the way of doing things, that's all comes into picture, because our brain, it just automatically drops what we have not experienced, and it only recognizes things which we have experienced, and everything else gets stopped.
Paradigms are fascinating. I've studied paradigms for many years. A paradigm basically is just other people's habits. And so it was the way you were raised by your parents. It was your experience through elementary school, through high school, through college, if you went to college, was your first job. It was all the stuff they taught you in real estate school and all the stuff they've taught you since you've had your license. We look around at other people and we say, this is the way it should be done. And the interesting thing about paradigms is we'll continue to do things that we don't really like. And it will even get us results that we don't want, but we keep doing it anyway. And you ask yourself, why do we do that? Why do we let industry norms or other people dictate the way we think about this business? So it's a breakthrough when you understand that the truth of the matter is your paradigm, okay, all these habits and experiences in the world and in real estate, your paradigm controls how you think. And what you think about controls what you do. And what you do, of course, controls the results. Now, those of you watching, if you believe that to be true, right, that what you think about controls what you do, and what you do controls the results, and the paradigm controls all of this. So you come to me and you say, I want better results. We have to change the paradigm. Okay, you can't get to what we're talking about here, making $1 million a year or $1 million a month. That's right. A lot of Craig Proctor students, and you've met them, have turned their annual income into their monthly income. Now, a lot of you would have, trouble believing that. That's the old paradigm. I said to Sharad, I said, what's the number one reason people wouldn't call you in the Bay Area? Skepticism. Sounds too good to be true. Maybe here's another one, ego. What would my friends or the other realtors think if I stopped being an independent realtor and I went and joined somebody else's team? See, we worry about what other people think. What would other people think? Well, you'll come to find out they don't. And it doesn't matter what other people think. It's actually, I don't really care what people think of me. It's none of my business, right? As long as you're worried about what other people think, you're not really living your life. Okay, so let's focus on what you really want and then surround yourself with the right people and the right system so you can get it. So when you come to my training, and I've got one coming up, I've got a conference coming up. If you're in California watching this, we literally start on Monday. On Monday, September the 26th, we're all going to be together. Sharad Gupta will be there all the time. There'll be about 1,000 Craig Proctor members from not only all over the United States, but all over the world. We've got people flying in from London, England, from Canada, from all over the place. What are we meeting about? Well, we're meeting about how to better implement this system in this changing market. Okay, the market's dramatically changing. So our offers, what we offer in our marketing, the words that come out of our mouth have to change because the market's slowing down. And the market will always be changing, right? It's going to be a buyer's market, a seller's market. We're going to have these changes. And so we meet with our members on a regular basis to coach them up, okay, on how to, what are the best approaches, the best ads, the best offers to make. Now, anyone can come to our meeting, even if you're not a member. If you want to get information on our upcoming conference, there's a very detailed website I have at craigproctorseminar.com. My name, craigproctorseminar.com. If you go there, we'll give you the agenda. You'll see everyone that's speaking. And by the way, everyone speaking at the conference is making high 6 figures or 7 figures doing the thing they're talking about. So we're not having random people. We're not, we don't have a guy talking about, motivation or the little train could go up the hill or anything like that. This is about how to make a lot of money right now in this business. Now, you'll get to meet the superstars, and there's big value in that. Big value in going out to lunch with these guys, go out to dinner with them, even just having a drink at the bar afterwards, becoming friendly and creating relationships with people that are actually doing the thing that you want to do. I hope you'll all come. We have an early bird discount and still some discounted rooms. You can get all that information at craigproctorseminar.com. Okay, but it's in a few days. Okay, so it is September 26th to the 28th. So it starts next Monday. Now, we have a virtual option as well. So if you're like, well, I'm in Florida, I can't possibly get to California by Monday. I get that. We have a virtual option. You'll find information about how you can watch it virtually, the same event, Be better if you were there in person, obviously, because you get to meet everybody. It's like, what's the difference between going to a live concert or, watching a concert on television? But we have a virtual option. Again, CraigProctorSeminar.com. So you can book a call with me at proctorcall.com with my team and I. We'll do a free business consultation, talk about where you are and where you want to go. We'll just give you for free our advice. Why would we do that? We're just going to help you out. And if you like it, maybe you'd like to work with us, but there's no obligation to do that. We also want you, if you're in the Bay Area, you don't call Craig Proctor, you're going to call Sharad Gupta. And you're going to have a conversation about partnering up with him in some capacity. Now, don't let anything stand in the way. Oh, this sounds too good to be true. This is about how you can make more money, have more time and more freedom in your business by partnering up with somebody that's mastered the Craig Proctor system, okay, a Craig Proctor brokerage in the Bay Area. So everything you want to do in real estate has already been done by this guy. You don't have to spend all the time and all the money figuring it out. You can work by partnering up and have the high income and the system. So you are literally just going from listing appointment to listing appointment to a listing appointment. Imagine how much money you can make. And would you find that, how many of you would find that more enjoyable if you're doing just the parts of real estate that you love? How many of you love going out on listing appointments? Imagine if you did that all day long. Imagine if you didn't have to mess around with the paperwork and getting the keys cut and all the details of it. That's all taken care of. Or the lead generation. You don't have to worry about lead generation. You don't have to worry about how it works, why it works. You don't have to worry about what it costs. Sharad takes care of all of that for you. In fact, we won't even give you leads. We'll just give you appointments. The leads go to the inside sales agents. And by the way, if you would like a salary plus commission position as an ISA, we have a position like that for you as well. What would be the benefit of that position? You have set hours. You're not running around with buyers or sellers. You're just on the phone with 100% of prospects that have called in. Okay, you're never making an outbound call to a cold lead. You're simply returning an inquiry that the prospects made of you. And you would get a guaranteed salary every week, plus you would make a commission. Okay, it is a very unique position in real estate. So we have opportunity for all of you watching this. And we hope that we've inspired you with our conversation. Sharad's been a great student. He's intelligent. He's articulate. He has a goal. He understands why that's important to him. He's an implementer. He takes action. If you're like that, you would be a perfect fit for me. If you're not like that, this probably isn't the best option for you. And I want to encourage everybody to learn and make sure that you follow me on social media. Okay, you can follow me on Facebook. You can follow me on YouTube. You can follow me on LinkedIn. Okay, Instagram. I provide lots of free training like this. I want to thank Sharad Gupta for spending the time in preparation for our meeting here today. I hope that he's inspired you. And the fact that he can do it means you can do it. But again, if you're in the Bay Area, you don't need to do it alone. If you're outside of the Bay Area, you don't need to do it alone. You contact my office, proctorcall.com. Let's just start with a conversation. What's the downside? Well, maybe you wasted 40 minutes of your time. What's the upside? Maybe a beautiful thing. It may be an incredible career in real estate by partnering up with us and allowing us an opportunity to explain the opportunity for you. Any final remarks, Sharad, before we wrap this up? Anything you'd like to say?
No, just one last thing, Craig, that human brain, it doesn't process things which it have not experienced before. So if that's where I think the skepticism comes in. So for all of us, if you have to process the information which we gave or like come out of that skepticism part, we all have to experience it first. And I think the conference which is coming up, that might be a great way to experience it. And then the brain will automatically start processing and skepticism will just go away.
So take action, everybody. You'll find the information below in the comments, proctorcall.com. Also, Sharad Gupta's information will be there. Go to craigproctorseminar.com to get information on the conference in Anaheim, California, which you can attend in person, or you can watch virtually from the comfort of your home or office, no matter where you live. So we're going to wrap it up. I want to thank everybody for watching this. A special thanks to Sharad Gupta for being my guest here on the Craig Proctor Real Estate Show. Wish everyone the best of success. Hopefully we've inspired and educated you here today, and we'll see you all next time. That concludes today's interview. Hi, this is Craig Proctor. Hey, I really hope you enjoyed that video. And listen, I've got a lot more information for you to help you grow your real estate business. You see, several times a week, I record new videos and I load them onto this YouTube channel. What I'd like you to do, if you'd like to access them, are two important things, and both are totally free. Number one is I'd like you to subscribe to this channel. You're gonna see a little subscribe button for you to click on. And if you don't already have an account with YouTube, it's free for you to set it up. It's really easy, it's free, but you've got to subscribe to this channel. And the most important thing is to ring the little bell right next to the subscribe button. And that's gonna let you know every time I load new money-making videos to help you grow your real estate business. So make sure you subscribe right now, you ring the little bell, and we'll see you on the next video.